Eddie Griffin has just started his own podcast called The Butt Naked Truth, and in typical Eddie Griffin fashion, he's holding his tongue for no one. On the first episode, Griffin addressed Brittany Griner's sentence, Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, and even proposed a new law for Black people. During the 20-minute monologue, Griffin stated that he'd rather vote for Trump over Biden after Biden signed the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act after violence against Asian Americans had risen. Griffin would simply ask, when is Biden going to sign the Leave Alone law after the mass shootings we've seen earlier this year? Today we have our comedy hype analyst, Yamanika Saunders, as well as Pierre, calling to the show to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
You motherfuckers think we just supposed to vote for a Democrat because we Black. Nigga, I might vote for Trump next go round. Keep f***ing around, Biden. When you gonna sign the law, the Leave Niggas Alone law? Just like you did in 2 weeks. Sign you nigga leave them niggas alone line. Remember that? Well, my people are being killed, murdered in mass shootings by these crazy motherfucking neo-Nazi, cracker, crazy-ass white children, motherfucking gun-toting sons of bitches. When you fucking gonna write that law? Leave niggas alone law. Then ain't gonna be no argument. Well, you're killing each other yourselves. Yeah? And y'all killing each other yourselves. And Asians killing each other themselves. Mexicans killing each other themselves. You kill where the you live. But white on white crime is at an all-time high. Y'all outdoing niggas, so you need to stop that motherfucking bullshit statistic. I'm just saying, Biden, I just might vote Republican. Ain't guaranteed, nigga. Cause eyes ain't gonna vote for no motherfucking Joe Biden unless he signs the Leave a Nigga the Fuck Alone law. So, Sleepy Joe.
Now, I want to dive right into reactions, and Pierre, I'll start with you. I want to get your reaction to, Eddie Griffin kind of, criticizing Biden, but also, do you agree with his law for Black people?
I agree that wine was good. Yeah, that wasn't the first glass. I agree with that much. Okay, we know it wasn't the first glass, Eddie. I mean, yeah, I like that. I like that. Leave Negroes alone law. But again, if you're trying to add it to the Asian compared to I don't know what the Asian hate bill is. I don't know what it all is. And I'm quite sure most of y'all don't know what it is. So I don't know what it is to compare that to. I don't know what it means, the Asian hate bill. I don't know what it means. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a law that kind of, generalizes Black folks and just, the Karens, all that kind of stuff that, you should get punished for just calling the police on somebody Black in a white neighborhood, and all that kind of stuff. So I agree. If you barbecue and somebody bothers you, want to know what you're doing here, what can we do to let people back off of, Black folks from just enjoying themselves in places that white folks don't think they're supposed to be in, sure. And especially if there's any crime done to a Black person, but sure. So I agree with it.
Yamanika, I'll propose that same question to you. What's your reaction to, Eddie, criticizing Biden, but also, do you agree with his law for Black people?
Well, he started the podcast off with a bag of weed.
Oh, shit.
So instantly, I was like, are we smoking or are we talking? So, at that point, you smoking like that, your mind's gonna go all kinds of different places and touching realities that don't exist right now. I think our biggest issue is that we are constantly every 4 years putting up a threat as the Black community. We ain't voting Republican, we ain't voting Democrat, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. Again, we are asking people to help us instead of us helping ourselves. I mean, we cannot be so aware that we are a part of a country that was not set up to benefit us and then go to the people that are keeping us socially and economically disenfranchised and asking them to help us.
Yep.
Number two, we don't even respect each other enough for that, right? When you talk about the thing that happened with the Asian community, and the law was to protect them because during the coronavirus is where we started to see an uptick of violence against the Asian community because people had a lot of misinformation about the coronavirus and blaming Asian people for that, on top of other, hate crimes that have been happening with the Asian community as well. So then it became a law. Asian people got on the ground. They enacted that. They put foot to hand to mouth. They did a movement. They are also economically viable. So it only makes sense for us to create a law that protects them. Black people, we don't have the same standing. First of all, we don't have any economic viability. Any dollar that is spent outside of the Black community only comes back, what, 20 cents, 25 cents on the dollar? We don't support each other. We don't benefit from anything of supporting each other. So to ask a group of people who already have an agenda not to protect or serve us, to protect and serve us as we don't protect and serve each other is completely ridiculous.
Right. Now, someone else who would speak on this, and Pierre, this actually comes from your podcast, Pierre's Panic Room is Killer Mike. As we all know, he's always taking a stance. I want to take a look at this clip and then come back and get you all's reaction. So let's take a look at that clip.
I let down. Black people ain't let down me. I knew what we was getting.
You knew you was getting?
Yeah, I knew what we was getting.
Because black people thought it was going to be an extension of Obama.
No, they didn't. If they thought he was going to get an extension of Obama, they was exactly right. Somebody who's not going to do very much for your community. For the first time in my lifetime, I saw with Trump a casino owner, a business person, someone who was just looking to cut a deal. And I feel like we had a better chance of cutting a deal between him and Biden with him. I didn't vote for him. I didn't necessarily want him to win, but I'm like, man, being a kid who had been in the streets, I'm like, you know, he'll cut a deal. The other guy not going to cut no deal because the other guy in with Auntie told him they got the back.
Right.
Now, Pierre, I know you were able to experience that conversation in totality, so I do want to start with you to get your reactions to what you heard Killer Mike saying in this specific clip. What are your thoughts on it?
How great that podcast is, first and foremost. I love the podcast. Now, Mike, he had a good point there. You know, sometimes dealing with the devil, you know what you're getting. But I do remember when Trump was in office, a lot of black people were not happy. You know, they all I kept hearing, he's racist. He don't care about us. He don't care. He's racist. He's this, he's that. And now we got Biden. They're like, well, we want to go back to the racists. Well, that's just like that slave being beaten and want to keep going back to his master when you get a chance to be set free. You know, when he was set free. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, Biden has done some stuff everywhere. You know, he's done some stuff. He hired the first head of the EPA that was black. He has 22 black people in his administration. Trump had 3. You know, he passed the George Floyd Policy Act. You know, a lot of voting, John Lewis voting rights, and so forth. So many things he's done in office now. Is it directly affecting us like we want to see it? Maybe not, you know, but we also always vote every 4 years. We need to vote every 2 years. So local government makes a lot of stuff happen for your community. Remember that. We're here waiting for the president to save us. It's the local people around you that you have more contact with, the council members, you know what I'm saying? People around you that can make stuff happen for you as a black community. But as a whole, I mean, who are we waiting for? Who's going to come in shining armor, ready to save black folks and take care of them? Like Yamanique said, we got to take care of ourselves. We got to respect ourselves and put money and put energy into ourselves as a black community. But asking the government to help us, I mean, we can ask. Ain't no wrong with asking, but I think it's going to happen like that. I don't agree with that. I think we need to pause. You know, we need to work ourselves, you know, in our own community.
Absolutely. And I think you bring up a great point that the presidential election is not the only one that's important. Midterms are important as well. But Yamanika, I want to get your thoughts and reaction after seeing that clip from, you know, as Pierre says, the great Pierre Panic Room. What are your thoughts and reaction to what Killer Mike had to say?
Well, first of all, I want to say Pierre looked good. That hat, all that stuff.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know what the panic was because I wasn't in panic looking at that outfit.
Okay, well, good.
You know, where the politicians? Where the politicians at? Where's our Jesse Jacksons, our Martin Luther Kings? Where? Everybody want to be a hip hop artist. I mean, I know we can't speak because we up here doing comedy, but that's a way that we chose to be. But can everybody want to be a hip hop? We know more about what's going on with Love and Basketball or hip hop wives or basketball wives than we know about what's going on in our politics. I live in Harlem. I go into these council meetings. It's black people in Harlem, majority black people in Harlem. We trying to figure out why Harlem's going through a genocide. Go to the council meetings. I just was at the council meeting with a friend of mine. We had a complaint. It ain't nothing but white people there. So when we complain about, well, what are you doing for me? What are you doing for me? First of all, people don't even understand history. There was a point in time in our history called the Reconstruction period, where the political parties at the base switched sides. So the Republican Party is not even the actual Republican Party that we have today, and vice versa. They did that because their political agendas switched, and it switched basically along color lines. So we do have the ability to affect change, but if people see that we don't care, they don't care. We are in a culture right now that speaks every time you turn on something black, it's my man ain't doing this, black women ain't this, black men ain't that, the children ain't. We always tearing each other down. We're not talking about money, resources, and politics. We know who the top hip-hop artist is, but we don't know who's the young kid moving in politics. We got Eddie Griffin talking fine. Comedians do commentary on what's happening around us, but Eddie Griffin shouldn't be the only person even having a dialogue about this. That's where the problem is. So this complaining, we could be helping each other. Listen, how many black people you got? It's not every black person ain't got no money. It's plenty of black people that got money and resources. Even those people don't sometimes come back to the community. And it's on both sides. One, you don't want to come back to the community because you don't know them niggas over there gonna kill you. And then also, I done got my money, so let me go do what I got to do. So we have a problem between black men and black women, older black people and young black people. We got the black rich and the black poor. None of
light skin, dark skin.
Light skin, dark skin that I keep promoting against Pierre every week. Okay, we got so much going on.
Right.
If we take the time to look at each other and start fixing these problems, stop letting our leader be Dr. Umar Johnson, some nigga you never heard of going to community college with a damn Chinese menu as his damn degree. We got to stop that. We need influential black leaders who are focused on our growth and progression, ain't worried about entertainment, ain't worried about basketball, trying to help their people. And then we need to support those people when they do that.
So let me throw this question in here, and Pierre, I'll bring it back to you. You know, when we're looking at these parties, there seems to be a huge loyalty from the black community to Democrats, right? Like that, it's always just in not every household, but mostly a lot of these homes we see, we vote Democrat, but don't really know the reason behind it or able to speak to it. So I want to ask, and Yamanika, I'll come to you after Pierre. Why do you think, or do you think black people are afraid to step outside of, voting Democrat? Being that we've seen that it hasn't been a consistent push to, for us, for our benefit. Pierre, I'll start with you.
Well, I think one is a visual and emotional attachment. When we see Republicans, we see white men. Look at when a Republican runs for office. Look behind him, all white people, one black person. You have 200 white people behind that person and one black person. So we don't think that we belong in that. If you look at a Democratic person running for office, you see a multitude, and most of the time mixed crowd, blacks, white, Asian, everybody together. We feel like we're more in line with that situation. And Republicans are of, their finance. There's more millionaires that are Republicans than they are Democratic. So you can tell they come from money, and they think that they first want to get paid, and then they'll trickle the money down. Like Reagan had trickle down economics. Give the rich money, and then they'll trickle it down to the poor people, their workers and so forth. Well, Democrats really think of, let's take care of the people in the middle and below. That's where they normally run with. That's the normalness. Now, some people come in the comments there, no, shut the hell up. That's where that normally goes. And that's why it's like that. When we see a Democratic, we feel like they're going to take care of the middle class and below middle class, which they have in time, without saying, we got to get our money first before we trickle it down. Republicans going to say, put the money where we need first and take care of us, which are higher ups normally are white people, and then we'll trickle it down and get our employees and our people mop and clean, and we'll take care of y'all too sometimes. And that's why we, systematically seen that for the years and decades, because a lot of people don't know that Martin Luther King was a Republican, when he was a Republican. So things changed in the late 60s, and people started swaying over to the Democratic, because Democratic Party seemed to be the one taking care of blacks and middle class people.
Yamanika, I'll bring that same question to you. What do you think? Why do you think, or if you think so, black people are afraid to step outside of, that Democratic Party? Because also it's good to note that, it's not just a Democratic and Republican, like those aren't the only two parties that are available for people. But Yamanika, I'll pass it to you. Why do you think black people are afraid to step outside of that?
Well, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of different parties that we could put our power into. But let's be real, it's the dominant parties are Republican or Democrat. Those are where our presidents have come. We haven't had an independent, we haven't anything like that. Also, we have this thing where people go, you don't with the Jews. You don't fuck with the gays. You don't fuck with the Italians. Everybody got some label. Don't nobody say don't fuck with the blacks. Again, I'm going to say this. It has nothing to do with political party. It has to do with how we move our own resources, how we respect and protect each other. It's community. It's when Pierre is saying at the lower level, you can get stuff started. And I'm telling you, it's even lower than that. It starts in your home. It starts in the neighborhood, all the Black families being connected. Then it starts in the community. It starts in the state. It moves and it grows. And we all, listen, we don't have enough respect or resources to even ask any, we still waiting for 40 acres and a mule. You understand? So what are we talking about here? We're not moving any type of a dial forward. We're just complaining. And there's nobody trying to move the dial forward.
No, I think both of you have made great points here. And I think it's great to have this conversation and be able to pick both of your brains, because both of you bring so much value and research. So thank you so much for chiming in on this conversation. Now, before we head out, I know we're on a little bit of serious topic, but now I want to know what you have going on. Yamanika, I'll start with you. What do you have going on and how can people follow you?
Yes, you can follow me at Yamanika, Yamaneika. I know you guys love to misspell it, and I love it. I love to see different variations of my name, just being messed up. But you can follow me at Yamanika. This week coming up, the 22nd, 23rd through the 28th, I will be at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio in Las Vegas. So if you're in Las Vegas, you want to have a good time, come hang out. It's going to be a great lineup. Not just me, it's some other comics there. Please come out, support. Love me or hate me, come see me, baby.
There we go. All right, Pierre, I'll kick it over to you. What do you have coming up and how can people follow you?
Dropping another fantastic episode of Pierre's Panic Room. We have Jerry O'Connell dropping this week. He's the guy from Stand By Me, the little short chubby guy who's also on The Talk. Very funny, very interesting interview. A little more hip than y'all may think, but Jerry O'Connell's this week on my Pierre's Panic Room over there on YouTube. I have a big concert in Raleigh, North Carolina on August 27th. A lot of good comedians on it. We're doing some theater. Don't remember the theater, but if you're in the Raleigh area, look at the theater. I'll be coming there. On social media at Comic Pierre. And again, thank y'all for the love y'all show me when I'm walking in the streets and hanging out. I hear it all the time, man. So it's greatly appreciated. And I thank you so much for the love y'all show me. So that's it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both again for calling and chiming in on this topic. I appreciate you both so much. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Eddie Griffin going off on Joe Biden? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
You know what we do in them comments.
What's up? I'm Terrence Sims. For years, you come to us to get the latest news in comedy and for your favorite comedians. Now, you can come to us for even more news in the world of sports, music, and pop culture. We're bringing you some of our classic shows you love, like Unforgotten, the Comedy Hype News Show, and more one-on-one interviews. We're more than just laughs, we're the culture, the leader in truth. And well, your streamer got a little more blacker. Welcome to Hype Plus.